WWJD. Hi guys, welcome to our new Josephology YouTube channel, a complement to our Josephology Facebook group, where we study all things St. Joseph. Bam! Pow! Wow! Whoop! Slap! Indeed, this was the slap heard around the world. I mean, it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. It's gone viral. You can see it in Fortnite now. You see it even walking down the street. They even have a mural of it. So today, friends, we will ask WWJD. Not what would Jada do, but what would Joe do? Not this Joe, not even this Joe, or not even this Joe. We're talking about this Joe. What would Joseph do? So, grab yourself a cup of Joe and let's look at this slap. It was slap day, my dudes. Again, welcome to Josephology, where we discuss the science of St. Joseph. Why? Because if you get to know Joseph, you will find Jesus. With the exception of our loving mother, St. Joseph stands above all the saints. He is the greatest male saint. So let's ask the greatest mere man who's ever lived on the planet. Because WWJD for what would Jesus do, that's also good to consider, but keep it in mind, Jesus is God. Joseph is more like us, an average Joe. So let's look at what Joe would do. All right, so let us analyze the slap with the lens of Josephology. I just love the lens that this event gives us to explore so many tangential topics like prudence, WWJD, what would Joseph have done here? Also, fraternal correction, defending one's bride, just war, true manliness. Many topics come to mind. I mean, Jesus got angry once, too. He made a whip and whipped those guys out of the temple. Remember that scene? Wasn't so pleasant and nicey nice, I'm sure. But it's something to think about as we look at this slap heard around the world. I mean, lots and lots of things come to mind. And I just wonder if Jesus ever saw just Joseph flip some tables in righteous anger. In your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry, Ephesians 4:26 tells us. So I see some good here, or at least I hope to see some good, in both Chris's actions and Will's. For example, Chris turned the other cheek, literally. Now, Jesus tells us to turn the other cheek, but he doesn't tell us to turn other people's cheeks. So Chris turned the other cheek, and wow, how he recouped his composure and made light of his brother's assault. That was like super impressive. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I'd be able to carry on like he did so well. He should win an Oscar just for that. And Will, if out of love for his wife, wanted to defend and protect her in a knightly kind of act of chivalry, then that could be loving. I mean, what wife wouldn't want her hubby to stand up for her, right? Like in front of the whole world. Yet, I think we can all agree here that Will's prudence, which keep in mind, prudence is right action based on right reason. his prudence had a bit of a short circuit that night. Chris showed mercy in not filing charges against Will, or like Jim Carrey, should we call him Jim the Just? Jim advised to sue him for $2 million. Chris, however, has shown mercy. Will, maybe with the help from his prayerful friend Denzel, aka D, might have read Ephesians 4:26 and didn't let the sun go down on his anger, and he apologized and confessed his sin and said he was wrong and asked for reconciliation with Chris. So, I don't know, guys. Color me a simple and naive optimist, but I see some good. I see some good here that can come out of this too, hopefully. So the next question is, for especially the men here watching, what would you have done? What would you have done? Now, Joseph, of course, was silent. He didn't talk much. I mean, Will's initial act was done in silence, like silent Joseph does things. But I think we can all agree that Joseph would have never said what Will yelled at Chris later when he sat down. If we ask ourselves what Jesus would have done, he probably would have said, Peter, get back here now and find me that ear. Remember when Peter impulsively chopped off that guy's ear? He was impulsive. So this may have been an impulsive reaction from Will, which obviously in hindsight, he thought that was a bad move and he apologized. And Jesus, as well as Joseph, might say this, may I pray with you? And I'm sure that Denzel did that night, as we heard later, some words from Will. For sure, Jesus would have said, no more of this, as we see in Luke 22:51. But keep in mind, Jesus sometimes would do things that you or I might not want to do, might not be the prudent thing for you and me to do that he would do. So that's why we like to ask, what would Joe do? Again, guys, if you were there that night, you were sitting next to your bride, and this happened, a comedian basically insulted your wife who has a medical condition, what would you do? Well, I gave it a lot of thought. And like St. Joseph, I slept on it. And during my prayer, this came to me. I think this is what he would do. I think Joseph would stand up, make a little bit of a scene, theatrical. He would stand up, look not so nice towards the insulter, maybe like a glance that would put terror into demons. And then he would turn to his bride, lean down, and give her a kiss on the forehead. And then I think he would say, my queen, do you want to leave? We can get out of here. I don't want him to offend your honor. And at that moment, if she said yes, or he could tell by just looking in her eyes, I think they would leave. You know, he got up in the middle of the night and got out of Nazareth in a hurry when there was someone doing much more than trying to insult his family. And I have a feeling that in this case, Mary would say, it's all right, don't worry. Can you imagine how many insults they must have experienced in their life? So I think that probably he would have given her a kiss on the head, remind her how beautiful she is, hair or no hair, and then sat back down. And before he sat back down, I think he probably do that gesture when you point two of your fingers at your eyes and point to another person, like, I'm watching you, I'm listening to you, like you're on guard, be careful. He might have done that, pointed the finger back at Chris, like, hey, easy. Like in a very manly kind of way. That's basically putting him in his place, but in a more charitable fraternal way. That's what I think St. Joseph would have done. But I don't know. I mean, what do you think Joseph would have done? Put it in your comments below, please. The good news is, this is what Will said after reflecting on his action. He said, violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior last night at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I'm embarrassed by my actions, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to become. The man I want to become. So see, there's hope right there. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. Dude, that is awesome. I think that Denzel Washington must have, give him some good advice, because these are some beautiful words, and hopefully, not just words, hopefully these words will be put into action, like Joseph, a man of action. And in Josephology, that's what we're all about, because St. Joseph wants you and me, all men, to become a better man. So if you know Will, if you got his email or WhatsApp, please send him this article, send him this video, tell him about Josephology. We invite you to come and join the journey. Blast Off starts now on Josephology Facebook, and browse around this channel to look at more videos. In our Facebook group, we like to have a lot of fun. We have quizzes with prizes awarded to those who win, and free book giveaways such as this one, Journey with Joseph. We like to have debates and discussion. It's what we do at Josephology. So grab a cup of your favorite brew and take a look at this YouTube channel and our Facebook group. You might just find something you like. Remember, get to know Joseph and you will find Jesus.